Let's just start with the song today and play a song, and then I'll tell you some fun backstories about this all and who was on it. So here we go. Get this out of the way. Tuck it back in. Tony Joe White and the Lake Placid Blues. Tony had been around for a long time. He had a great, big, huge hit record called Pork Salani, and it was a staple of like all the bar bands. Everybody loved it, and he had that kind of great kind of voice down there. The sweetest cat, great guitar player. This album is called The Lake Placid Blues, and I just grabbed a couple of the names off of it. Got Kenny Aronoff was on drums, and Kurt Biscara was on drums. I can't remember who played on this track myself. Luis Conti played percussion on it. There's other track on here with Duck Dunn, the great, great Duck Dunn, playing bass on it. Keys were Ernest Williamson, and also Ben Montench, who played with Tom Petty for years. I've done a lot of sessions with Ben Mont. Great, great keyboard player. And but playing with Tony was just great. Just had this vibe, this swamp down home kind of vibe with him. So being in the studio was really a real treat with him. But it was a funny experience we had. We were asked, I think it was because Stevie Wonder had been a passenger on a motorcycle that crashed, and he was injured. And he was supposed to be headlining a thing called the Crystal Palace Festival in London. And needless to say, he couldn't do it because of this accident. And they contacted James Taylor and asked James if he would come over and do the gig. And the section was going to also do the gig because we were playing with James, and it was when we were the other act with him. But it was one of these great shows, and Tony Joe was with us. So he came over. And also there were two percussionists working with James at the time, Lee and Sergio Pastora, twin brothers from Nicaragua, who are the craziest people I think I've ever met in my life. And it was really funny when we got down there. I'm going to tip this up just a skosh here. I keep bending down, turning into Quasimodo here. Wood hump. So there was a press conference before this concert. And it was so great because we had the Pastora brothers there speaking English as Nicaraguans, had Tony Joe White speaking as this rural southerner, all these different characters, and it was so amazing. Everybody was speaking English and nobody could understand what anybody else was saying. It was like they needed subtitles or an interpreter. But it was really a funny experience on this thing. And there were other, like Lou Reed was on the show. There was a whole bunch of acts. It was a big festival. And when before James played, the section came out and did our set. And we followed Lou Reed. And man, that crowd was there. They were digging Lou Reed, and they were not digging us. It's like we finished, and for anybody that remembers the old show Laugh-In, and when the show ended, and you just heard like one applaud taking place. That's kind of where it was at. And we normally would all just go out and take a bow at the end of our set, but we all kind of looked at each other and sort of went, screw this, and walked off. And we looked back on stage, and there's Craig Durgee, our keyboard player, standing there in the middle of the stage taking a bow. And we went, Craig, it's, we're not there with you. It was really just insane. And then we come off stage, and the guy who comes running up to us going, you guys are unbelievable. I loved you guys, was Jeff Beck. You know, he got it. But the crowd was really just not, they weren't there for that. But and then of course we had to follow this, our moment of glory out there by coming back out and playing with James. So needless to say. But the best part of James's set there was, I mean, the Crystal Palace was a beautiful, beautiful venue. And when we got to when we did Fire and Rain, our tour manager, Eric Barrett, Big B, who was, I mean, Eric had been around, he was toured, went on Jimi Hendrix's guys and stuff. I mean, Eric has been around a long time, and was a real staple in the industry, and he was working as our tour manager, lighting guy. He was doing everything out there. It was amazing. But we played Fire and Rain, and when James sang, I've seen fire and I've seen rain, there was a massive bolt of lightning, and it started pouring rain. And Eric actually stood up behind the console and took a bow as though he had called that. That was one of his cues. And we could see it from the stage, and we started laughing so hard. It was unbelievable. But it was so great being out there with Tony Joe, man, because his history is so good. And you can really hear in his music kind of where, like the Knopfler, Dire Straits vibe, I think emanated from, because I think Tony was around way before them. Not to say that, you know, that they were not completely inventive too, but there's that kind of little cross-pollination you hear in that, where so many artists all affect each other. And Tony's guitar playing too could really get into like a Knopfler-esque kind of style of playing in tone. So, so I just wanted to throw that out. I was going somewhere else, like as always. I was going somewhere else today completely, and just happened to think about Tony, and I went, oh, let's just go see what we've got from Tony. And there's a bunch of great stuff on YouTube of him, so check him out. But Tony Joe White. And this morning I got the hot rod back. It's sitting in the garage. I'm going to start the detail work because it really needs to be really scrubbed clean and polished. But I've got it back. It was so great to hear some horsepower. Man, just to rev that thing up and you just go, no shit. This is really a scary ride. So I'm going to get to work on that, and still waiting for results on things. It's all crazy and insane, and you know, we'll see what happens here. Nobody knows anything really yet. A few things are decided, but you know, a lot of stuff isn't. Still here in California, there's a lot of things that are undecided on our ballot. Takes time, especially with write-ins and people mailing ballots in from overseas and the military and all that. So hopefully in the next few days we'll have some idea of what's going on, and we can move on in our lives no matter what. No matter what happens, pandemic's still going on full bore. So be careful out there, and thank you so much again to all of the responders on every level, no matter what services you're in. If you're dealing with public, you're putting yourself in a certain level of harm's way. So just be really cognizant and careful about this. I'm kind of excited. Cliff Jones, who has LA Vintage Gear, great company, really wonderful company. He wants to do a book signing at his store. We're going to do it real safely. We're going to set a table outside and have people lined up safe distances and have a safe distance between me and people, and we'll all be masked, and I'll wear gloves and everything. There won't be any, you know, hugging or anything like that. But we're going to do a book signing on December 7th, Pearl Bailey Day. I think no, it's Pearl Harbor Day. I thought that was, it's a whole other, it's an old joke. Forget it, sorry. Rewind. On that one. But it'll be fun to be there with everybody who wants to come down, get a book and get it signed. And Cliff's great. His shop is fantastic. Some of the best gear in Los Angeles. He's amazing. And also, I've said going to my, on each of the videos, I've got links to the clubhouse and to my website, but apparently these don't show up well on iPads. So if you're using an iPad, the website that I ended up with is Leland Sklar's Beard. Sklar's, so LelandSklarSbeard.com. That'll get you to where the book is, and that's going to get you also to where the artwork's going to be, the t-shirt, the beard t-shirt, and other goodies are going to start appearing on there. And then also the clubhouse. I will give, I don't have that, hold on, I'm not going to spend time right now. It's on every one of my videos. It just has to be found. But the information is there on that, and I'll give you the clubhouse again on that. Also, I'm going to give you my double check here. We booked the, hold on. This is the date for the next live stream. Sorry. The next one is going to be the 11th, November 11th, a week from today, in fact. That'll be 3 p.m. Pacific time, and that's the Clubhouse live stream. So for all you, I'll see you there. And then on Saturday the 14th is the FaceTime and Skypes one-on-ones. I just checked that, and that day is filling up already too. So that's great. And just lots of stuff. So I'm gonna get running now. Let everybody get on with their day and have a good one. You know, everything's been so unbelievably stressful, and I'm certainly still feeling an incredible amount of stress over life, but at a certain point you just have to back off and give yourself some time. You know, if nothing else, pamper yourself. Go chill, get something to have a bite to eat and watch some TV, or find something you like that's not political or something. Go, you know, American Pickers or a Netflix movie or something like that. I always watch the home repair and gardening shows and then immediately get inspired and go out and rip something up and rebuild it. So maybe I'll do that today. And on that original track with Tony Joe, you know, Frankenstein, this does everything for me. It is just such a fabulous piece of firewood. And I'm so excited for Judith Owen, I can't tell you, because earlier this year, she lost her beloved dog, Doris. Doris was an absolute treasure of a lab. And Judith is beyond herself because she just got chocolate lab puppies, too. I encouraged her to get 2 because 2 is always easier than 1. They entertain themselves. You don't have to have a dog wanting all your attention. My boys, it's always been great having multiples. They just pile on top of each other. They wrestle. They sleep together. It's just great. So she got this beautiful little female named Aretha and a little boy named Franklin. And she's always, and she's been posting on her page, and she sent me pictures. And I cannot wait to have doggy play day here once hers have had all their shots and they're ready to go. We'll get them out here and have a backyard full of energy, that's for sure. The boys will go crazy for them. So congratulations, Harry and Judith. I'm so happy for your new parentage. So take good care, everybody, and I will see you all tomorrow. I'll find a new distraction to throw upon you and whip out. So take good care. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.